Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Dr. Bridget Bell, and today I want to talk about something that every real estate investor, whether you're just starting out or you've been in the game for a while, needs to be aware of, and that's being prepared for the unexpected. And I don't know if it's because of my background in accounting and business, but when I come up with a budget for a renovation, I always double the amount. Even though I've done the research and I've looked up the materials and what their costs are, and I know my labor costs, I still double that number just in case. If I think it's going to take 3 months to complete a project, I double that too. And I assume that it will take me 6 months. That way I'll know like what my holding costs are, because I can't rent the unit until it's fixed. And then what does that delay in being able to collect rent, what effect does that have on my project and my budget? So the point I'm making is, no matter how much you plan, no matter how to the penny your budget is, there's always something that will catch you off guard. And it might not be on every project, but there will be certain projects that you expect to wrap quickly, get to rental, and something major happens. And that's what has happened to us this past week. So recently we purchased 4 condos at a property where we already own 1 condo, and that's a different story for another day. So we purchased 4 condos. We viewed the inside of all condos, and we knew exactly what we were getting into. Well, I shouldn't say exactly, because there's always the unknown when you start going behind walls. So we kind of figured out what it would take to get each condo up to a point that we could rent it, because we're not flippers. We tend to fix and hold and rent. So as we're getting this last unit finished, we discovered there's an issue with the water. The water's been on for at least 4 months, maybe even more than 4 months. And I have been on my contractor telling them, hey, run a camera through the water clean out and make sure that there's no blockage, there's no clog. And so my contractor was like, we'll just wait until the tenant moves in and then we'll see. But having experience with another property, I know that that's a bad idea. We don't want the tenant moved in and then discover there's an issue with water, because there's sewage backing up into the unit on the tenant's property or on their items, and it's just a headache. And normally those calls to me come in the middle of the night that there's a backup. So I've already gone down that road before. So I'm like, no, I need you to run a camera through the washing machine drain as well as through the toilet in the downstairs bathroom to make sure there is no blockage on either line, because I know with these condos there are 2 different lines that run out to the sewer. So my contractor ran the AC unit, which is a brand new unit, everything new, and we saw a water stain on the ceiling downstairs. So I'm thinking, is there a restroom above this? There is. So maybe one of the pipes is leaking. We open up the ceiling. It's the trying to think what you call it. I'm gonna just say the pipe. It's the pipe for the AC unit that was leaking. Fine, fix that. But to discover that it was the AC unit's pipe and not a plumbing pipe, they turned on all sinks, flushed all toilets at the same time. Well, lo and behold, the toilet downstairs begins to gurgle. It begins to overflow. It didn't overflow because they were able to shut the water off quickly. So now we know there is a clog, there is a backup, so where is it? So we find I found the clean out in the backyard and rented a Roto-Rooter or snake from Home Depot. We ran it in the clean out, hit a snag so hard that we could not pull the snake back out of the clean out. And they were 25 feet down. So we ended up having to cut the line to the snake and return the equipment to Home Depot, Now, we had insurance through Home Depot for the equipment, but that's another story. We still ended up having to pay for that equipment because we had to cut the line. There was no way to pull the line back out of the clean out to the tune of $365, but that's a discussion for another day. So then I'm thinking, you know what? The contractor said, I'm going to have to dig. Your sewer line is 7 feet down, because this particular unit sits up higher than all the other units, and it has like a retaining wall, so it's raised. And when I walk next to the retaining wall, the top of the retaining wall is at the bottom of my chin. So that's a good 5 feet right there. And so I'm thinking we need to get the gas line, really all the utilities marked. So this is on a Friday night. I'm already exhausted. So I called emergency services on everything. They sent out the gas company, and the gas company's like, we can't find our line. But wait, the gas has been on for over 4 months, but okay. So that's another story for another day as well, but they can't find their line. And I'm thinking it's probably 7 feet down like the sewer line is. So then from there, the county water comes out. Again, it's emergency, it's at night. And they're like, well, when we look, we just see tree limbs and roots and dirt when we run our camera through the manhole. And he said that line is very far down. It's 7 feet down. And I'm like, okay, well, that confirms what the plumber said. Why we didn't think to call the county when we first hit the clock, I don't know. You know, we're one of those DIYers. We could do it ourselves. There's a clog, call the plumber, fix it. Not there's a clog, call the county. Let the county look and see if it's on their side, meaning they're responsible for the repair, or if it's on our side, meaning that we're responsible. So the county couldn't do anything really Friday night. They said, we'll be back Saturday morning. We'll take a look at it during the day. They come out, they said, we're trying to jet the line, excuse me, which means clean out the line, and all we're getting is mud. That's not good. But they said, we're a skeleton crew on the weekends. We'll be back Monday morning. So they come back Monday morning and they look. They're like, it looks like it is on our side. There's a tree with tree limbs and branches and debris and stuff all in our line. So one, we're going to have to take your retaining wall down. But the good news, we have to put it back. Two, we're going to take down the fence that you just put up, which is brand new. And we will throw that away because we don't reuse materials. So we'll build you a new fence. Okay, fine. We also have to pull up the patio, which is concrete, because we got to go under that. We have to cut down the tree and pull out all the roots that go with that tree. I'm like, oh my goodness. So I'm glad that it's on the county side. I wish I had called them first. That's a note to self. Talk to the utility company first. Let them look. Let them tell us who's responsible, because that would have saved us that $365 for that Roto-Rooter. But I'm glad it wasn't my Roto-Rooter, because I own one and I just didn't happen to have it with us on site. And then whatever we got to pay the plumber, because he was out there all day from sun up to sundown, just digging and banging, trying to figure out if he could get through the clog. The purpose for this video and all that backstory is I was thinking, now how much would this have cost if it was on us? And I'm thinking, I just want to know. I'm thinking, what, $10,000, $15,000? Because they have to dig down 7 feet. 7 feet. Remove a tree. Remove the fence. Remove the concrete patio. Then replace the line. And then put everything back together. So I'm thinking $20,000, $25,000. So if it was on us, how would we pay for that? Are we prepared? And so we were prepared, or we are prepared, that if we had to eat that cost, we would. But our next call was going to be to the HOA to see if that's a part of the common area, and would they be responsible because the tree is theirs, or would it be covered under our rental insurance, landlord insurance? So yes, we would have been making a lot of phone calls. But if the buck had to stop with us, would we be prepared to cover that cost? So that is my point for today's video. No matter how much you prepare and you know your numbers, you know your timeline, always expect the unexpected. Always expect the unexpected. So don't do deals where it's so tight that you don't have resources in case you hit a tree stump. No pun intended. But that's the whole point. Be prepared for what you have not prepared for, and make sure that you have resources that if your budget does double, that you're able to offset those costs. Because we can't make any money until we get a tenant in the unit, or if we decided we were going to sell. But even if we decide we were going to sell and we know that there's a plumbing issue, we would disclose that, because we don't need that coming back on us later. And then the inspector would catch that anyway, because they would check, see if there are any plumbing clogs. So if you have any questions or you need additional information about investing in real estate, feel free to drop your questions below this video. Also, be sure to like and subscribe, and I promise to keep the videos coming.